explore the tracing UI in the Coralogix platform. The way to find your traces is to navigate to Explore and then down to Tracing. Only 2 clicks. Now, the tracing UI has some really basic features right here in the user interface that you need to be aware of straight away. So we're going to explore some of the basic ways that you can navigate the tracing data immediately, and then in subsequent videos we're going to get more sophisticated, adding filters, customizing the interface, as well as exploring individual traces in the actual trace deep dive screen. Now, the first thing to notice is that you have these graphs at the top. These graphs can be enabled or disabled, which we'll talk about later on. You can also change the values themselves within the graph, so you can customize them for whatever you need. On the left-hand side, you can see your filters. Custom filters can be added. You can also filter by the duration of a span, either by the absolute length. For example, any span that took over 15 seconds would be of interest. Or you can filter by latency. So if you're using SLOs and SLIs and you're interested in what your 99th percentile latencies are, you can simply select any of these and it will filter by latency. Of course, you can show only the root spans, which are the initial spans that began a specific trace. And you can filter just only show the spans that have errors as well, which for obvious reasons is impeccably useful. Now, you can also filter by, it comes with some standard filters as it is, application, subsystem, service, and, if I move myself, action. Action being either the endpoint or the function that was invoked. This is extremely useful because, just as a use case example, if you want to look for like health check requests, for example, you can zoom in on a specific endpoint for that health check and see those. And that's really useful for cost optimization use case because you know how much data is actually being consumed while you're just hitting health check endpoints. Now, finally, the last thing I'll mention in this section here, because we're just very high level discussing the interface, is the search field here. So you can actually search for specific traces and spans using key value lookups like the Lucene syntax. So just as an example, you can search for service name, and you can look for something like front end. Front end is one of the services that we have in this particular system. And it will filter the spans by every single span that actually refers to the front end directly. This is a really nice way of just laser focusing in on a specific application, because even these graphs are really nice. You can see the errors per service for front end, you can see the spans per service. You can also see all of the actions that the front end service is interacting with, including the front end service's endpoints itself. So it's a really nice way of getting the total view of a single component within your system. In later videos, we're going to explore more details like the archive view, custom filters, defining alarms, customizing the view, and of course diving into a trace itself. But this was just an introduction to the actual interface, how to find it, how to manipulate it in basic ways, and how to explore your traces at a rudimentary level. So now let's get more advanced.